Everyone could take their seat if there's any seats available. I want to call to order this very special commission meeting for the Village of Biscayne Park. It's January 24th, 2016, exactly 81 years to the day that we had our first meeting here in the village. So it's a very special day indeed. And I promise that this meeting will not go as long as our typical commission meeting, so we should be out of here by about 11 p.m. You're welcome. Madam Clerk, may you do the roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Coviello.
Present.
Vice Mayor Watts.
Present.
Commissioner Ross.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
And Commissioner Jonas.
Yes, ma'am. All right, if everyone would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to invite Doc Chester Morris to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Doc. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone. This is a little bit overwhelming for me and emotional. It's a big day for us, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you all to come here and attend, to see this beautiful structure be restored and open again to the public. It just seemed, a few months ago we were across the way celebrating the opening of our new building, and this, in a way, this is actually more special because we're not only moving the village forward, but also restoring a significant part of its past. And so for me, this is even more special than the new building across the way. So again, thank you so much for coming. And there's so many people that have been part of this project, and I apologize if I miss anyone, but I do want to go through a list and thank a number of people. First, we want to thank Governor Rick Scott and the Department of Economic Opportunity. And we have Jenny Russell from the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity here with us this evening. She flew down from Tallahassee. So Jenny, if you would please stand and be acknowledged. I also like to thank our Senator, Oscar Brainin, as well as Senator Miguel Diaz de la Portilla. They were unable to attend today, but I want to thank them for their efforts in Tallahassee. I also want to thank our State House Representative, Daphne Campbell. She couldn't attend either, but she's a tireless advocate for us up in Tallahassee. I also want to thank the Florida Historical Resource Division and the Florida Resources Division. The villagers, we have a number of representatives of the villagers here today, and they're going to be acknowledged a little later in the presentation, but thank you so much for your contribution to this project, and we appreciate you being here. The Miami-Dade County Historic Preservation Board, they approved this project, and we're grateful for that. Dave Caserta, I know, is here. He's our government relations consultant. Where's Dave? Dave, if you could wait. Thank you so much, Dave. Dave also works up in Tallahassee for us and advocates on behalf of the village, and he's delivered quite a bit for us over the years, so thank you, Dave. The phone doctor, John Challoner. Where's John? John, there you are, front and center. We now have these fancy microphones, so we no longer have to deal with that old system at the rec center, so thank you, John, for your contribution. I also want to thank all the residents. There's been so many contributions to this project from various residents. I didn't see Charlie Easton, but Charlie made a significant impact on this project. He helped design the dais. So I don't know if Charlie's here, but if he would stand to be acknowledged. The Parks and Parkways Board, they're a bunch of dedicated residents that also made significant contributions to the project. Finally, and most importantly, the architects and the contractors. So Richard Heisenbottle, he was our historic preservation architect. Richard. As you can see, Richard did a fine job, and it was a pleasure to work with him throughout the project. And we also have McKenzie Construction. I know we have a number of representatives from McKenzie here. If you would all stand to be recognized. And McKenzie actually brought on a group, were they from Wisconsin? Michigan. Log cabin restoration specialists. So they were on site and assisted McKenzie with this project, so we thank them as well. And Richard or Gavin, would you all like to say a few words about the restoration process, briefly?
I think you're, Mr. Mayor, you're catching perhaps Gavin and myself a little bit off guard here. But it has been truly a pleasure to do a building that is as unique as this, but that so truly represents the soul and the history of this entire community. So to bring it back to pretty much exactly what it looked like when it was originally built, complete with the barely closing restroom doors, and all the proper hardware on the outside windows. We're excited to have been a part of it, and we hope that you get to enjoy it for many, many years to come, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for allowing us the opportunity to work here. This was a project very special to my heart. Sean Treese, our superintendent, poured out his heart and soul into this building, as did Hector Gonzalez. So we're very appreciative of the opportunity, and we're happy to everybody's enjoying it.
Thank you both. Sorry to put you on the spot. I'd also like to recognize a number of distinguished guests here this evening. We have Mayor Alice Birch from Miami Shores. Alice, if you would stand. We have Mayor Claudia Cubillos from El Portal. Mayor Connie Leon Krebs from North Bay Village. We have Village Clerk Eunice Jacoby from El Portal. Welcome. And we have Town Clerk Marlene Siegel from Bay Harbor Islands. Marlene, thank you. Former Commissioner Ron Coyle from Biscayne Park. Former Mayor Richard Eder. And the man that led us in the pledge, former Commissioner Doc Chester Morris. Yes. And she snuck in. Our Commissioner, Miami-Dade County Commissioner Sally Heyman. Thank you so much, Sally. And actually, Sally, if you wouldn't mind, I would ask that not to put you on the spot, but if you wouldn't mind coming up and saying a few words, that would be wonderful.
My apologies. I keep apologizing for being late when it's traffic and everyone says, well, that's the county's fault. So, isn't this magnificent? 81 years old, and it's incredible. And I'm just delighted with the management team, the legislative team in this village. You have pulled together. I saw you in Tallahassee. I know what you've done to preserve the past and move this village forward. I'm very happy to represent you, and I'm happy to be part of this celebration today. So I wish it another great 81 years. And some of you look like you've been here for part of the 81 years, but we're not going to go there. But thanks for inviting me today.
Thank you, Sally. All right, at this point, I'd like to welcome my fellow commissioners to make any comments if they wish. So, Commissioner Jonas.
Yes, Sally, it is wonderful. It's actually kind of unbelievable, especially for those of us here who saw what this looked like a year ago. It's really a shocking change. David, you thanked the long list, and thank you for doing that. There's a short list. There really are 4 people in particular, maybe 6, without whom none of this occurs. The person who kind of got this rolling was our previous manager, Ana Garcia, and the person who really brought it home, brought the thing to fruition, and really made it happen as our current manager, Heidi Siegel. And neither of those two women gets a lot of this done without Candido Sosa Cruz and Christian Manners. There are two elected officials who did every bit of the heavy lifting, and nothing really occurs about this project or next door without them. And they are Roxana Ross and David Coviello. And I cannot thank any of those 6 people enough. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Jonas. Commissioner Anderson.
I've been serving on this commission for a lot of years, and I remember where our dais was over here, and the police station was fastened to the building. And during our commission meetings, when the police would bring somebody in that had to use a restroom or whatever, could be somebody who was intoxicated, they would right behind the commission, sitting here in the audience, bring them in there, bring them to the bathroom. You could hear everything that was going on in the bathroom. You could hear if they flushed the toilet and bringing them out. And the other thing is we had no heat. I've lived here since 1979. I've never seen a fireplace on, so we had no heat. So in the winter months, it was cold sitting up there at the dais. We had spotlights overhead, so we could be seeing what we're trying to read. And during the winter months, it felt good, a little bit of heat from those lights. Now, during the summer months, with no air conditioning in here, doors open, you would just, everything you touch was water. And then it's the mosquitoes that used to really get you. And then finally, maybe for 1 month, at maybe July, September, we would move over temporarily over to the recreation center just to get some relief, because we were noticing it wasn't so much that the commissioners had a problem, the audience vanished. So to be able to get the audience back, we would move over there. And we had no hot water here either. We only had cold water. And the difference is night to day. You can't, I mean, unless you experience it, you can't fathom what it was like back then compared to this luxury that we have now.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Ross.
Thank you all for coming out for our celebration today. There are so many people who were involved in this project, and I'm not going to, Mayor, you did a very good job naming them. So my thank you is going to be a general thank you for so many supporters, some of whom are here today and some who have come and gone, and each contributed inches, some contributed yards to get us to this touchdown moment. And I know we're all anxious to, well, maybe not all, but many of us may be anxious to get back to the game, so I'm going to not repeat all of the names and all of the, list all the names, but I am humbled by the efforts and by the amazing work that we receive the benefit of from our village managers, present and former, and all of the employees in the village without whom we could not have gotten to where we are today. And so I'm very grateful to them. I'm grateful to the county and the state for all of your help and other partners that we've have contributed to this great effort. We're blessed to have all of these partnerships, and I look forward to continuing in a symbiotic relationship with our neighbor cities, with the county legislature and the state legislature, and all of the supporters that help make this happen. Thank you so much.
I don't want to thank all of the people again that David thanked, but I just have a couple of people I'd like to mention, and as well give one anecdote since everyone's telling stories. Okay, when David Caserta has done so much for us in Tallahassee, he really deserves our thanks, his tireless efforts. Then the villagers, you helped us twice for this project, and I just applaud your work in general. I've been watching your website for years, and you're on my list of charitable donations at the end of the year. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Then also, I want to thank not only the legislature, but who supported the project, but the residents of the state of Florida, whose sales tax dollars paid for this restoration. And I hope other people outside of Biscayne Park can come to enjoy what they provided for us through their generosity filtered through the legislature and the mayor and the governor. And then I'd like to also thank the members of the Miami-Dade Preservation Board who are not here, and Henry Larry's of Miami-Dade College and FIU, who wrote letters to go into the file for the restoration. I think that was really important that we got people who are qualified to write those letters. Now, anecdote. I first fell in love with the log cabin. Well, I fell in love with it when I moved here back in like 1987. I'm aging myself, I know. But when I moved closer to the log cabin and got a little Papillon dog, I fell in love with it because this was our route. We walked here 3 times a day and walked across the front porch. And when there was a plan years ago in 1999 to build a sort of a police station right in front of the log cabin, that was the first time I ever got involved in Biscayne Park and Biscayne Park politics, because I said it would ruin the view of the log cabin, which was historic. So this, the restoration of this has been a dream of mine for nearly 2 decades. So I just want to let you know that, and I think we're very lucky, and we all should be thankful for it.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Watts. I'd like to now introduce our manager, Heidi Siegel. She successfully managed this entire process, and I want to say a few words and also introduce the villagers.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really my honor to be here today. It has been an incredible year. It was about this time last year that the bricks started going in the ground for our new village hall that we are very comfortable in now, and that the idea of this restoration was still a dream. We had the money, we had the plans, but just the thought of getting it done was still a dream in many of our eyes. I want to thank the Village Commission for trusting me with this project and their guidance throughout the project. I really appreciate it. And the residents for your enthusiasm. And I know over the last 6 months I've chased probably everyone in this room off the porch or out of the fence, but it was for safety reasons. And I wanted today to be a big surprise and celebration for everyone. And I appreciate your stories and your enthusiasm about the history of this building. I really want to take this moment to recognize the staff. So if you're standing in the shadows in the corner or if you're sitting down, I'd like you to step forward, please, all of village staff. I don't want to call you out by name, and I will. Chief? That's great. Maria, please stand up. All of these individuals and those that were unable to join us today because they're spending time with their family, and I hope not watching football, but I know a couple of my guys are watching football, really did the heavy lifting over the last year, be it pinch hitting. You turned me off?
No, I
Be it pinch hitting at a meeting for me or running just an errand for something we needed for a project. They all stepped up, and they might not have been on this project every day like Christian and myself, but they definitely contributed to the success of this project, and they need to be recognized. Thank you. On a personal note, many of you may or may not know, but my career started in historic preservation. I hold a master's degree in historic preservation, and I started out as a historic preservation planner in both Miami Beach and the city of Hollywood, and eventually moved up through administration and had to kind of set aside my passion for historic preservation. So to come here and be the village manager and at the same time probably take on the most significant and incredible preservation project, not only in Miami-Dade County, but in the state of Florida over the last year, has been something that I'll cherish forever. You often don't get to have both your passion and your career come together, and I thank Biscayne Park for that. Also on a personal note, I just want to recognize my parents, Roy and Shelley Siegel, and my wife, the town clerk of Bay Harbor Islands, Marlene Siegel. Our family has sacrificed a lot of family time over the last year so that I could be here, and I appreciate them always stepping up. And with that, I have to thank Shoshana, my daughter, for giving up a lot of mommy time or coming to meetings or here on the weekend to help out and being very understanding of the importance of this project. The mayor and our commission, they have recognized all of those that have contributed to the project in one way or the other. And I want to recognize again Jeannie Russell. Jeannie is with the Department of Economic Opportunity. And when Governor Scott gave us the $1 million to do this project and the new Village Hall, her department became our liaison. And we spoke to Jeannie every day almost for the past year as she made sure that we did our reporting right and we did our reimbursement paperwork right and really put her own passion into this project. And I thank you, Jeannie, as an employee of the state for what you did for us. And finally, the villagers. About 2 years ago, Commissioner Watts told me to reach out to the villagers, and I think you even printed out the application and brought it to my office. And as this project started to gain momentum, we put in an application for our windows and doors and support funding for the windows and doors of this building. And the villagers gave us a portion of what we requested for that. And a few months ago, I received a phone call from the villagers that they wanted to see how we were coming along and that they were interested in being more involved with us. And we spent a day walking around the project, going through historical resources, and without myself or the mayor or the members of the commission having to do any advocacy, these women of the villagers went back to their board of directors and became our biggest advocates. And through them, we have gotten $25,000 that went to the restoration of the floor and the windows and doors in this building. And it's a very special local connection. If you're not familiar with the villagers, they are a local organization that was founded in 1966 with the goal of saving the Douglas Towers in Coral Gables, and they've been involved in preservation projects throughout Miami-Dade County since then. And we are very fortunate that we have become one of their pet projects, I want to say one of their favorite children over the last year. Patricia, Mary Beth, I don't know who is going to speak on your behalf. So I'd like to introduce Mary Beth Burke, if you want to take the podium, who will tell you a little bit about the villagers in this project.
I feel really important, but I want to say that this project, when we received the grant application when I was project chairman, it was perfect for us. We are a historical preservation organization that is working to maintain and preserve structural sites, special places in Miami-Dade and South Florida. So when we received this grant, we thought, oh, this is the perfect project for us. And we are very proud to be part of this project. And to see it so beautifully put today is just amazing. And we are proud to be, to keep you as one of our projects through the years. So you can keep asking us for money because we're here. But remember, we are a completely volunteer organization, and the money we raise is through our own efforts. But this is the kind of project that we believe in, that we want to support, and that we're very proud and happy to be here today and be part of this wonderful, wonderful rededication of the log cabin. Thank you very much.
We have these plaques that were made out of the original logs from the cabin. There were some logs that were not structurally okay that we had to remove, and with the help of Mackenzie Construction, we put these together, and it's my honor to give the first one to the villagers for this project. I'd also like to call up Commissioner Hayman. Sure. I'm going to pass these to Maria. Commissioner Hayman, thank you. Jeannie, please. Maria, for the commission and the mayor and the commission. Oh. Can you give this to Maria? Yes. Gavin? Gavin McKenzie?
Yep.
And Richard Heisenbottle. Thank you. If you want to do it over there with the commission, he's going to do a picture.
show us one?
Oh, I'm sorry, you all didn't see it. This is what's in your box. It's an original log from the cabin with a commemorative plaque. I think Harvey wants to do a picture.
Yeah, sure.
It says the Village of Biscayne Park Log Cabin Restoration and Renovation, remembering the past of its original dedication on January 24th, 1935, and celebrating its future as it continues to be Biscayne Park. 2016.
All right, wonderful job, manager. Thank you. Now we have an important part of the program. We have our village clerk who's going to read the minutes that were from the January 24th, 1935 meeting that occurred in this building.
Thank you, Mayor. Present at that meeting, 81 years ago today, were Mayor Earl Thomas, Commissioners Robert Benedict, Thomas Maxey, Oscar Magnuson, Ross Strock, and the village clerk was Mr. Horace Goodrich. The minutes read as follows. Dedication of Town Hall. On the evening of January 24th, 1935, appropriate dedicatory ceremonies were held at the Community House, during which Mr. W.H. Green, Regional Administrator of the Federal Emergency Relief Administration for Dade County, Florida, officially turned the building over to the Village of Biscayne Park. Mayor Earl Thomas accepted the property on behalf of the commissioners. Thank you.
I'd like to now open it up to public comment. So any resident or anyone else here that would like to make any public comments, you're free to come up. Just be aware that 80 years from now, your comments may be read into the record, so be careful what you say. Any takers? There's got to be a couple. Chuck, welcome.
I'm Charles Ross, approximately 50 years from today, being January 24th, 1935. I'm going to live in a house on Lot 36, just south of the bridge. The house address will eventually be 11166 Griffin Boulevard. Imagine it's 1935, we're in the middle of the Depression, and we just have a brand new log cabin. There's some people that you didn't thank from that era. President Roosevelt, and for the New Deal. He created the WPA, and the WPA is what built this structure. And the elected officials during that time, the first resolution was on February 1st, 1933. You read the commissioners, well, there was actually a substitution, but the commissioners were, I believe at that time, Green, Magnuson, Thomas, Kelly, and Maxey. And later two of them were replaced by Strock and Benedict. And if it was not for the foregoing, we may not have this cabin today. Moving forward today, this is a great job to all, and thanks go out to all those that supported the village to help get this done. The place looks beautiful. And lastly, I want to say that I'm extremely proud of my wife, Roxana Ross, part of the team to accomplish this project, and also the new Village Hall. One of her goals when she got elected in '09 was, this was among one of her goals when she got elected in '09, to rehabilitate this old building, the treasure of the village. Congratulations to everyone involved.
All right, thank you, Chuck. Anybody else? Jesse, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Jesse Walters. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Miami Shores Chamber of Commerce. Mayor, Commission, elected officials, distinguished guests, we bring you greetings and congratulations from our Board of Directors, our 300 Chamber members, and we're so appreciative of the fact that you welcomed the Chamber into your community a few years ago, and we're happy to distribute a magazine to each of you and hopefully give you coverage that this great village deserves. This is a great event. The Chamber is so proud to be a partner with you, and we had our event at the Village Hall last year, and we're looking forward to another mixer in March, which will be free and open to all the members of your community. So thank you for having us in Biscayne Park, and we wish you the best of luck in this great new building.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Okay, seeing nobody else, last call. All right, I'd like to just, we have a proclamation that I'd like to read for everyone, and then we'll proceed with the ribbon cutting. The proclamation says, whereas on June 16, 1933, the village of Biscayne Park was formally established as a municipality. For the purpose of creating a government and community meeting space, the log cabin was built in 1934 through the Works Progress Administration, the Federal Emergency Relief Program, and from the support of local residents, then officially turned over to the village on January 24, 1935. The cabin is uniquely constructed of Dade County pine and is historically significant as it provided employment for many local laborers through the government programs designed to combat the high unemployment rate during the Depression era. Whereas through the years, the log cabin has served as a location for government meetings and social functions, then developed into Village Hall, the center of municipal operations for its residents and the workplace for the majority of the workforce. On February 2nd, in 1983, the log cabin was designated an historical site by the Miami-Dade County Historic Preservation Board, and for many years, the Village Commission has recognized the need for and supported efforts to restore and preserve the historically significant building. Whereas on June 14, 2014, following the lobbying efforts from members of both the Florida Senate and Florida House of Representatives, Governor Rick Scott signed Florida's 2014-15 General Appropriations Act into law, which included an allocation of $1 million to the Village of Biscayne Park for the renovation of the log cabin and the construction of the new municipal annex. Throughout 2015, with additional funding from the Florida Division of Historical Resources, the Villagers, Inc., and once again from its residents, the Village of Biscayne Park realized its vision of restoring its pride symbol. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the Honorable Mayor and Village Commission of the Village of Biscayne Park that the log cabin is rededicated as the official government and community building location for the Village of Biscayne Park. Thank you very much. I'd just like to make just real brief closing comments. I want to thank my fellow commissioners. I know that in typical Biscayne Park style, we argue and we debate things, even little details, which I think is good. But I think in the end, we have a project that we can all be proud of. It may not be what each of us wanted, but I think we all came together, we compromised, and we got it done. So congratulations. Gonna cut the ribbon.